Once again, would everyone please take their seats so we can continue with the proceedings? It is now 1:35. We hopefully have the majority back from lunch, and we're not going to delay the proceedings any longer. So we're going to begin at this time with the election portion of the meeting. So we're going to begin with the election of president. So this time we have received two nominations. One is for Paul Adams, and the other is for Larry Messerman. Are there any nominations from the floor at this time? Are there any nominations from the floor at this time? I take that as a no. You only have to do it once. So, everybody does have, there are two different ways to do an election. So it can be, whoa, Wayman stepped up to the microphone. Go ahead. Continue, Wayman. So there are two ways to do voting, and this time we can do it by one vote per delegate, and it can also be done by chapter strength. If it wants to be done by chapter strength, the motion must be made before any results are announced, which in this case, if it's going to be done one vote per delegate, it should be done before the vote is taken at all.
Okay. Win, please. Hawaii, I make a motion that we take this vote for president as by chapter strength.
Second.
We have a motion to do this by chapter strength and a second. Discussion. And last call for discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor of conducting this vote by chapter strength? Those opposed? We will be conducting this vote by chapter strength. So at this time, each of the delegates should have received your little manila envelope with the forms inside, the voting forms. Please put those out and find the ballot for president.
It's lavender.
Okay, thank you, Ed. It is lavender in color. It's not mauve or fuchsia. So is anybody missing their ballot? Bear with us for just a moment, someone's missing their packet. So we do have 4 tellers appointed. They're going to be David Vanderlip, Torger Balland, Afton Fairbanks. That's not my writing. And Ashley Turner. So if the 4 of you could gather off to the side in one spot, please. So at this time, we can begin the voting. Make sure you have the presidential ballot and put one of the names who you would like to vote for president, either Paul Adams or Larry Messerly. And then forward it down to the Indian rolls, and the RVPs will be along to gather those. If you are missing the ballot, there's some extra blank white ones in there. Go ahead and use that. Mark on president. Please, just make sure you include your chapter name and voting strength number on the bottom.
You know, that's where you want to feel it. You know, I was thinking to myself,
Well, Mark's a business guy. He's got to devote more of his time.
All the ballots for Okay, at this time, I will turn the meeting back over to our chair, Paul Adams.
Oh, you got a car? Yeah. Sometime go into town. Get out of it. That's important. You got some time. After the vote, are we going to after this vote and go to
yes, that's right. We'd actually work I can't believe it.
No, I want you. It's just I'm going to do it later. It's not. No, I know. I want to get outside.
What a great location. Well,
David's going to do tomorrow. You know, get a lot of fun. Lego millennial Falcons.
Okay, we're going to continue with the election for the two remaining offices. This is your official ballot. It's the yellow one for Vice President. Calling to see if there are any nominations from the floor for the office of Vice President. Mr. Booth.
If there are no more nominations for the office for Vice President, I make a motion that we vote this in by acclamation. Mr. Pullman?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for Mark Poulin as Vice President. And if there are no discussions to be had, then I will assume by general acclamation that you please welcome Mark Poulin to the Vice Presidency. The next order of business is the election of the Secretary-Treasurer. Do we have any nominations from the floor for Secretary-Treasurer? Don't all shout at once. Okay, hearing none. By general acclamation, would you please welcome to the office of Secretary-Treasurer, Mr. Jim Ferris. If there are no objections at this time, we'd like to change the timing of the agenda and move to number 7, regional caucuses. And when you get back, we'll announce the results from the presidential election. So at this time, please proceed to your individual rooms for each of your, yes, sir.
Please announce them.
Which rooms they're in?
Salon, it's the short.
Larry Messerly, Wisconsin chapter. I would propose that we not go to caucus until the results are in. It has happened in the past that people withdrew their nominations as RVP, depending upon who was elected to the other 3 offices.
Wow.
We need a second on that? Jim Coleman, second. All those in favor of continuing at the agenda?
This is what it is. Oh, I didn't know that's what you meant.
We're just going to follow the agenda at this point, and the Executive Director's Operations Report on page 601 is next up. And I give you Barbara Cassidy.
So it's good.
It says 601. It says 601, but I don't think the report is there.
No,
No, 603 is where it starts.
definitely.
Okay. So I'm gonna let, Mark talk about the auditor's report. What I wanna talk about it and what we will propose so that you have it, is operations. On December 31st, or as of December 31st, we mailed out 3,426 invoices. It's down, a little bit from last year. The total invoices were $1,076,826 worth of invoices. And the thing to keep in mind is, even though we sent those invoices out, it doesn't mean everybody's going to pay them, going to renew their membership. And this is an estimate that I do every year for the budget, is based on percentages, how many of those invoices are actually going to be paid. And when I do budget, I always underestimate income and try not to go too far over, but I overestimate expenses just a little bit to make sure that we account for cost of living increases and such. There were 242 new applicants in 2018, compared to 188 in 2017. That said, when you look back at membership reports for the last several years, we are at the level we were at, reminiscent of the early 80s. So we have lost enough members that it's almost like starting over when you look back at 1980. This is one reason why we have got to put some money into this membership campaign and build that back up. I know that there is some controversy as to whether or not we should just target all non-members or certain members. But as far as the numbers are concerned, as far as what we need to operate, when we go to do this membership campaign, is going to be done based on the non-members in our database. And through some work that Clint has done, we have probably, 25 or 30 marketing ads, I guess you'd want to say, that we're going to be using this. We are hoping that you will be a part of this marketing campaign. We will send out certain ads, and it's things like why play the piano, what the advantages of playing the piano. It's not necessarily join PTG, but it is advancing the interest in the piano. We're asking that you take that information, repost it on your websites, or your Facebook pages, or wherever you may do your social media ad. The idea is every time you can get PTG's name in front of an individual, we're making ourselves better known. The membership numbers, it's a big concern for me. I believe that as we build the educational offerings of PTG, we will see membership numbers rise as a result of it. Most of the results that we get back from any survey shows that the journal is the #1 benefit of belonging to PTG. It's my belief that it's because of the educational content in the journal. So we're going to try and build on that. It's the #1 initiative that came up as part of our long-range planning. And if we can do this in conjunction with each other, I think we'll see some good results. So that once we get the education committee in place, we will roll out this marketing campaign as well. There were several chapter grants and exam grants that were given out this last year. We encourage you to apply for those. We have more money sitting there to be used. It's another way that we can get PTG's name and member information out. If your chapter is getting involved in any kind of local or regional event, there's money there to help you do that. Kathy's at, when she gets back in, Kathy Maxwell, someone you want to talk about that with. She will help you fill out the applications with all the information that you need, and it's very short. One of the other things that we're doing as part of this campaign is for chapter leaders. We're going to, or we have already written letters that you can just fill in the blanks, inviting people to the chapter, telling them who to contact. It's that first contact that makes a difference as to whether how somebody feels about the organization. If we're not contacting them, reaching out to the applicants or the prospect applicants, then we're not doing our job. And the home office can't do that for you. We can do the overall picture, but it's up to the local chapters to make a difference in whether or not that person stays. We spent a lot of time on putting this program together, and it's going to take all of us. Like was stated before, the people that make the biggest difference, it's you. We can help you, we can support you, but we can't do what you can do. The journal, John Granholm continues on as managing editor. Ed Sutton is going to take a small step back this year. He's going to still be there and be available, but we are very excited that we're going to be bringing Scott Cole and Hannah Beckett and Bill Monroe. I know that it is a great team. We get together every month. They have got articles lined out into next year. So they're getting a lot of stuff, but there's room for more. And if we run out of articles for the journal, we're in trouble. So if you have any interest, there is going to be a desk set up, if there isn't already, out in front of the exhibit hall. They can tell you everything you need to know about submitting articles and what's involved and what the process is. So I encourage you to stop by and talk to those people. Electronic communications. We're continuing to transition from print to electronics. The problem is, we can send it all day long. If you have gone and changed your preferences to not receive stuff from PTG, that's exactly what you're gonna get, nothing. So you might double check that and make sure that your preferences are set correctly. We do monthly e-news, we do leader letter news that comes out, we do all of our president's statements that way. There are news reports. Anytime that we have anything that is last minute or quick deadlines, that's how you're going to receive that information. So if you have a suggestion for us on how we can do that communication any better, please come and see me. The biggest thing we have is I never heard about this or that, but we've sent these notices out and we've done everything that we know to do. So if you have a better way or a better suggestion on how we can get this information out, I'd love to hear it. Convention and Institute. This year, of course, attendance is down a little bit, as you've probably noticed. Next year, we're going to be in Orlando by SeaWorld. I'm hoping we have better attendance. The year after that, we're going to be in Reno at the hotel we were at in 2001. This squad has noted. We are looking for 22 possibilities. In 2023, the IEPPT will be back here with us. So we are looking at more centralized Tier 1 or just outside of Tier 1 cities. Their attendance in St. Louis was 65, I think. And we did did get some new members because of it. So it's a group that we want to invite in to be a part of our organization. And one of the ways we can do it is, again, to make that first impression. We continue to have classes at the home office, the grant action regulation class, and a voicing class. And I understand I don't know if we have reached agreement, but Mike Ello is going to bring in a refinishing class? Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Touch-up.
Touch-up class, okay. So, we're trying to build the schedule of classes at the home office. We'd like to see more of them, so if you have any suggestions, Kathy Maxwell again, or I can take the information. I'd love to have a class in there every month of some sort. And these classes are better suited for like 2 or 3 day projects. I know a lot of times you come in to convention, it's an hour and a half or an hour and 45 minutes, and you can't really get in depth enough. But having it at the home office, we can do that. So if you have any ideas or suggestions for that education at the home office, we'll take that into consideration too. We do continue to support MTNA. I know we talked about it a lot here at the council, and a lot of the reason we do that is because they are a group that are not only much like us in the way that we're set up, but also the teachers that we encounter there, a lot of times are not aware of who we are and what we do. So we do classes at MTNA for the teachers. Wes Hartman, you've done some, haven't you, at MTNA? And I know others have. We want to get in front of them. And so we attend their conference every year. We continue to do all of the advertising that we've always done. Piano Buyer, Piano World, Google advertising, all of that stuff continues. Sean Bruce is excellent at putting deals together where it doesn't cost PTG and another leg to advertise in publications. So as much of that as we can do, we will continue. We are working on a new supplier for the 3-note action model. We've had some stumbling blocks, but we're continuing to work through it, and right now don't have anything really to report. We don't have anything available for you, except that Renner has produced a 3-note to replace the, is it the Grand?
Yes.
Yeah, the Grands. So I think you'll be able to see one of those in the store in the exhibit hall if you're interested in that. And again, that is one of those things that you can apply for as part of the exam grant. If you have a testing location, if your chapter does exams, that's one of the things to look into. We're trying to supply you with what you need to run a successful chapter. So along those lines, www.ptg.org has a whole list of things for chapter leaders and chapters to use. The chapter toolkit is just filled with information, including technical presentations and sample bylaws and anything you might need. And if it's not in there, which I'd be surprised, but call us and we will help you work through whatever you have. We review bylaws, chapter bylaws for compliance. And I've had several calls about how to handle certain things in meetings from a parliamentary standpoint, and I'm available to do that anytime you need it. PTG did purchase a piece of land this last year. It's adjacent to the home office. It was well priced and gives us a lot of flexibility as far as where we go in the future. And since it is land, it can easily be sold if that is what we determine to do with it as well. Basically, the home office continues to run with the addition of Chris. The rest of the team remains the same. Most of, well, I think there's 3 or 4 of us that's going to be celebrating 20 years with PTG next year. So it's a long-standing group. A little dysfunctional at times. The home office building, everything in it, on it, completely paid for. It's a rare thing in the nonprofit world to have that kind of financial stability. We have probably a couple $1 million sitting in the bank as well. So financially, PTG's doing great. It's the long range that we're looking at, the membership numbers and that kind of thing is going to keep us there. That's why we're trying to get a good start on it now. That's why when we went through all of the committees, we tied that back to the long range plan. We don't want this to get away from us. So the board is working very hard to make sure that not only do we get started on this long range plan, but that we keep up with it through these quarterly updates, quarterly meetings that they're going to have, and making sure that the staff is tied in with all these committees so that we can keep things moving forward. And most of the committees that we're going to be using are going to have some kind of staff liaison. Money is there, money is available to move these projects ahead. So I'm hoping that you will see the beginnings of this plan in the next 6 months, and that we'll keep on that track. I think that's really about it. We did have a deficit this year for the first time since I've been with you, but there were some things that came up that we just didn't expect, and there were some things that came up that it was an opportunity that we didn't know about at the time that the budget was prepared. But I'm willing to answer whatever questions you might have. Just ask.
Ed McMorrow, Seattle Chapter. Thank you, that was excellent presentation. So regarding the social media posting, is it possible to synchronize that announcements, so that we know they're coming? Would that help build the impact if we dump them all at the same time?
Oh no, we wouldn't do them all at the same time.
But I mean, if all the membership dumped to one at the same time.
Right, I think the plan is that we would do one a month. And we'll do it on the same day every month so that you can expect it to come out and look for it.
One question I have, and I think it's been brought up before, is that we have somehow, somewhere in our rules, that we're supposed to contribute to the reserve fund contribution, a certain amount. And I think I just saw someplace that we've got close to $800,000 in this reserve fund. At what point do we have to continue contributing to that fund, and when would you say we have enough?
Well, that was discussed. The bylaw says that we contribute 2% of total income, not total profit, but total income. Years like this, when we have a deficit, we're basically taking money out of our excess operating funds from prior years to pay into that. Now, for those that don't know, in the late 80s, I think, or early 80s, PTG almost went bankrupt. And if if it wasn't for the auxiliary at that time who paid to ship boxes of things from Washington to Kansas City, we didn't have enough money to even do that. So that's why that bylaw, I'm assuming, was put into place so that we never have that issue again. The earlier remark had said about having 1 year in reserve. So I'm of the impression that once we reach that goal, contributions could be stopped, but that will be up to this body to decide.
Okay, so we're not quite there. Well, of course, our income and expenses keep growing, so might be a never-ending, we might never reach that goal, in other words.
Well, that's true, but I'm hoping it's unlikely. We very closely monitor our expenses, and if this the changes that we're proposing as far as the long-range plan fix some of the problems that we have as far as membership and the other opportunities, that we will once again see that pot of reserve continue to grow, meet those needs.
John Pope, Bluegrass Chapter. I just want to make sure I understood this right. You said there's going to be a membership campaign, recruiting members, but then you said it's just about promoting piano playing.
That's one aspect of it. The idea is to get the PTG name out in front of everybody that we can. The membership campaign has several different aspects to it. Chapter involvement, member involvement, home office sending out literature and that kind of stuff, the advertising that we do in other publications, all of that is going to work together. What I was talking about as far as the advertising stuff is kind of, that's a part of it too, because if we can get members and chapters and everybody who is on social media to copy this over, it's going to have the PTG name on it as well. So that's one aspect of it as well.
All right, thanks.
Bruce Nordenfeld, North Shore Chapter. Good to see you. My question is, with the deficit that we have, if we were to take off the expenditure of buying a property adjacent to our home office and the legal fees that unexpectedly incurred with our investigation into the Steinway detail issue, where would we be?
Well, the purchase of the land would not have affected the profit and loss at all.
Okay.
Okay, it's simply taking money out of the cash account, putting it into an asset account. So that would not have affected it. The legal fees, and it's not just Steinway, but we're also pursuing having our copyrights and trademarks registered in Canada. So, and that was supposed to have been done before now, so that's part of the reason that's over, is because it has drug on. We happen to have drawn a card in Canada for one of the most difficult investigators up there, and they are denying right now, denying us the right to register Piano Technicians Guild, saying it's not unique. So we still have some battles up there, and that's part of what's driving that up.
Thank you.
Ricky Close for Ward Chapter. I just had a couple of questions about the budget. May I ask those questions?
I'm getting my better.
So, fire away.
Oh, I just had a couple of questions. The first one was, on the first page of the annual budget report, I noticed that you separate RPT dues from associate dues. We'll no longer have associates, but do you just separate those for tracking retention? Why do you separate those?
Part of the reason I separate those is because we have a higher retention rate for RPTs than we do the rest of the members. So when I go in, I take what last year's, what we actually received and make some adjustments to that, and I couldn't do that if they were all together because the regular members have a higher rate of leaving, and so my calculations would be worse.
Okay, thank you. And my next question was on, I think, maybe the final page of the annual budget. I noticed that we had to buy a couple of new pianos for the home office. I didn't see anywhere in the budget where I wanted to know how much each piano was, and that was never listed individually. I'd like to know that information. And the second thing is in the 2018 actual, for the educational offerings, line item number 150. So total other educational offerings expense. So it went up a lot this year, I was because of the purchase of the pianos, but there seems to be practically the same amount for next year. So are you anticipating replacing more pianos next year? How often are we doing that?
The line you're looking at on your budget has nothing to do with the pianos at all. It's kind of like the land.
Okay.
Where you're taking one asset, trading it for another asset. So you're taking money out of the bank, putting it into an asset, which is the piano, which if you're purchasing something that can be bought, that can be sold, it's not really an expense. It's just recorded as an asset. It's an accounting difference is all.
But the proposed is the same amount.
Right, well, pianos are not in there for 2018, keep in mind. So,
okay.
The pianos were unbudgeted items, so they wouldn't appear. Talking about the budget at this point is really for the next item on our council agenda. This is what we
And that's what I was
are.
wondering, sorry.
To answer your question about the cost of the pianos, when it's all said and done, we can give you the total cost of what we paid for everything, but due to the nature of the suppliers, we're not going to give specifics because they asked us not to. It was a really good deal. So what they asked, that we don't really talk about that. Quick note on top of that, the pianos that these were designed to replace have already been sold, so a good portion of the cost of those new pianos have been covered by the sale of the old pianos. It was a really good deal.
So, kind of going back to the marketing campaign, I see that there's a lot of things that we're not taking advantage of as an organization that I see other organizations take advantage of. The one that I'm going to harp on right now is Instagram. We could very easily have a very interesting Instagram account that would be free public advertising, and we could take images from our journal, post something, maybe a little blurb, interesting, public-facing, in the way that Fine Woodworking Magazine does. You don't have to subscribe to Fine Woodworking Magazine to follow Fine Woodworking Magazine on Instagram. I find that following Fine Woodworking Magazine on Instagram makes me want to subscribe to the publication. So I don't know. I think that we could do a lot of things. We could do. I know we have a YouTube channel, but we could make instructional YouTube videos for the piano owner, rather than just other members of the guild to instruct. I don't see our presence on Facebook as being very active. And once again, podcasts, just other media that's not just the journal, that we could take from the journal and apply to other mediums.
The podcast and online primaries and that kind of stuff is all part of what the Education Committee will be coordinating. I was looking over here at Clint when you were talking about the other kinds of social media, and he's bobbing his head. So it's part of that campaign to get the PTG name out. So you should be seeing that as well.
Patrick Train, Boston Chapter. Barbara, I understand we're making progress on changes to the www.ptg.org website, the outlook facing to other technicians, especially to the general public. And since the last major change, when we went to Higher Logic, Member Max, changes are due. I know there's been some stuff in print or in the council book about it. Could you clarify where we're at in that process? Because I'm very eager for it to happen fast and excellently.
The new website is now in beta testing. There is, I think, one aspect of it that you're still working on. No, directors?
I'm ready to flip the switch as soon as we get the okay from the beta testing.
Okay. So, according to Clint, the problems they had have been resolved and beta testing is being done. And as soon as we wrap that up, then you should see the new site. The beginning of this was they went into each page to find out what stuff was being hit on more often, which was the most used information. And they built the site from using true information as opposed to what we thought you guys were looking at the most. So there are going to be some changes, but I think you'll find it much more useful, which was always one of the problems, not knowing where to go.
Does this mean that we will continue to use the two different URLs the way we are currently using them, MyPTG and PTG? Could you explain a little bit about that?
What we have done is combine the two. So when you put in www.ptg.org, you may see a redirect in your address line, but the two sites are going to, everything that's on both sites are going to be together. When you click on forum, it's going to look exactly like the rest of the site. So you're never going to know if it's switching back and forth. It's going to be really seamless, and you won't know in general you won't know which site is responding to your inquiries. So it'll look exactly the same. It doesn't matter where you are. Does that help?
Very much. Thank you.
So we do have some results for the election of the president of the PTG. Any more questions for Barb before we get down to this? You're all waiting with bated breath, right? I could drag this out a little bit longer. So, the results of the elections are Paul Adams has won the election and is our next president of the PTG.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Okay, at this point, we're going to break up into regional caucuses. You have your room assignments. And we want you back here by 4 p.m.
Carl, quick question. Is there some reason, can we get the vote totals? No? Okay. Okay.
These will probably be in the minutes.
Okay. Fun.